I suppose I should begin by explaining that I have dissociative identity disorder. But it's not like what you may have seen in movies or other forms of fiction. Neither of my personalities are caricatures like that. In fact, the two versions of myself don't even have glaringly different personalities. Sure, there are small differences. I, for example, have been told that I'm more patient, open-minded, sarcastic. My other self has a little bit of a temper, has a dry sense of humor, and is very quick to overreact. I can be long-winded and redundant, while he is compendious and quick to the point. But in day-to-day just hanging out, our friends and family don't even know which one of us they're speaking with. I'm myself about 60% of the time, and my other self takes over about the other 40%. We don't know why I'm in control more often than him, and we're not even sure who the original me was. This has occurred for as long as either of us can recall. I usually stay myself for 8 to 10 hours, until he takes over. Then he lasts about 5-ish hours or so. Every once in a while it's much longer or shorter, but ultimately it averages out to that. It sometimes will happen in a flash while one of us is in mid-sentence, and other times it occurs while we're sleeping. We don't remember each other's experiences in the slightest. I'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, and then 5 hours later I'm somewhere else entirely, with no recollection of what's occurred. I could go into far more detail about our lives, about how we've tried to make education, employment, and relationships work under our particular circumstances. But this post isn't about that. Something strange has been happening with my other self, and I'd like to share it here for feedback, support, and maybe some advice. My other self and I use the same smartphone, and we started years ago leaving messages to ourselves in a word processing app. It began with simple messages like, April 26, 4:15 p.m. Mom called. I was too busy to answer. You should call her back. Or, I have things that I need to do at some point on Saturday, so don't get drunk Friday night. We also started recording a budget there and listing things that we purchased. We shared updated passwords there and would write down a description of any new people we have met. In fact, I have to say, a large part of my life is reading and recording these experiences from and to my other self. Last week is when the strangeness began. When I awoke in the morning, I looked at the messages from my other self. I'll relate to you now the series of messages between us. Him, June 2nd, 2:15 a.m. Has it been watching you at night as well? Myself, June 2nd, 7:30 a.m. Has what been watching me? I haven't seen anything. Him, June 2nd, 2:40 p.m. Yellow eyes. It stares at me from around the corner. Every corner. I had no idea what to think. Was my other self starting to lose it? I told him that he should visit our psychiatrist and talk about it, but I'm not sure if he went or not. And then things only got stranger. I woke up that night with a suspicion that something was watching me. I looked around my room carefully, looking at the corners for anything out of the ordinary. I saw nothing, but I could sense that something might be there. I decided not to say anything about it. Maybe I was just spooking myself. I heard nothing more from him about it for a few days. But then, I woke one morning to another message. Him, June 5th, 1:40 a.m. It's back. It's watching me. Myself, June 5th, 6:20 a.m. I still haven't seen it. I really do think you need some help. I'm going to make an appointment for you. Him, June 5th, 2:50 p.m. He won't be able to help me. Myself, June 5th, 9 p.m. Calm down. Write a note out for me to read. Explain to me what precisely is happening. When I woke up the next morning, I saw that he had left a detailed message. I'll relay it to you now. I don't know what it is, but it's getting closer. It's around me far more often. It looks at me from the corners. I see it for only a moment, then it backs away. Sometimes it's not the yellow eyes I see, but a scaly hand that quickly pulls away. Partly open doors quickly slam shut when I look at them, or sometimes they quietly open. All this happens just in the corner of my eye, never when I'm looking directly at it. It keeps getting closer. I don't know what will happen if it gets to me, but it keeps getting closer. It's getting closer. I read that on the morning of June 6th, and I haven't turned into my other self since. It's now been over 40 days straight that I've stayed myself, the longest it had ever been. Before that, it was only 10 hours or so. I'm worried I'll never turn into him again, that he is no longer a part of me. Whatever it was that was haunting him had gotten to him, and he no longer exists. My friends and family tell me that I should be happy, that I'm cured. But that's not how I feel at all. A part of me has died, and to be frank, I miss him. He's what made me unique. The two of us were a team and we worked so well together. I find myself depressed sometimes, looking at my phone and the messages we sent to one another. I wake every morning and immediately look to see if he left a new message. To be honest, nothing would make me happier than to hear from him. And then I finally received one. It was last night. After all this time, it was just one short sentence. Him, July 17th, 5:40 a.m. It's coming for you. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know what sacrifice he had to make in order to give me that message. But I wish he could give me some sort of advice about what I should do. Maybe he knows. Maybe he can help me. Because I woke up yesterday in the middle of the night, and from the corner of my eye I saw the yellow eyes for just a moment. From around the corner, the scaly hands, the doors opening and closing. And it's already getting closer. It keeps getting closer.